It's the Free Thinking Forum with your good friend Bill Ware. He knows what's going on here, so you better be aware. Free Thinking Forum. Take it.
Maybe you know why I'm so happy to have these guests this afternoon. And I'm Bill Weir, the producer and host, and I'm delighted to have with me two guests. Don Strong, who I've known for some years with Songwriters Circle, and Johanna Matthews. Johanna, you've sung the song we're going to be hearing in a moment. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad you're able to join us. Do you want to tell us more about the song? And
absolutely.
Its origins?
Well, in a way, I almost want to play it first so your audience can experience it, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Please do.
In our park, it's a hot summer day. I take a look around and wonder, should I stay? There are so many things I want to say, but you are not here. So I start to pray. Hello, God, I'd like to meet. Could we go out for coffee or something to eat? Just to hear your voice, it's your choice. You're upstairs, and I'm aware. Hello, God, it's me. I'm supposed to have healed, but it hasn't happened yet. I've gone over and over past regrets. I've called your name 1,000 times, asking you to quiet my mind. Hello, God, can we take a walk? I'd like to pick up where we left off. Just to hear your voice, it's your choice. You're upstairs, and I'm aware. Hello, God, it's me. God, do you still need me? When you look at me, what do you see? What I have to offer you, is it enough? Am I worthy of your endless love? God, could we take a drive? Lately you've been on my mind. Just to hear your voice, it's your choice. You're upstairs, and I'm aware. Hello, God, it's me.
Wow, what a song! You and Hollerman and Paris
Right.
put that together.
True.
Very, very eloquent in a way, speaking to God and expressing some of the concerns that you were expressing through the song. What can we learn from this?
Okay. So the reason I brought this song to you is because I wanted to talk about the collaborative process and how people of many different levels of ability can participate in making art.
Yes.
Okay. So the woman who was the generating force of this song is named Laura Hollerman.
Mm-hmm.
And Laura Hollerman is autistic. She has Asperger's.
Mm-hmm.
And she reached out to me because of my involvement with the Songwriters Circle, Twin Cities, which is an open group of songwriters of varying degrees of ability. Some are young, like Johanna. Some are in their 70s. And the thing that we have in common in that group is we are interested in perfecting our art and making it better and sharing it with people. So we've been doing this for, I don't know, about 5 years. And Laura Hollerman found our group and she reached out to me and she said, I really want to write a Christian pop song. That's not really my wheelhouse, but I said, you know, lyrics are lyrics, songs are songs, I will help you. And we spent quite a few months perfecting this lyric. And it was originally, the song was called In a Church, and it was kind of old school hymn kind of a thing. And I helped inspire her to think outside of the box with regard to what she was trying to say spiritually. And I think we worked on this lyric for about 6 months. And then we got to a point with it where I said, you know, this is pretty good. And she said, yeah, would you write music to it? And I said, I don't think so. I want to give it to someone else. So I've, you know, I'm her teacher, right? So I wanted to have a little space in terms of the creative process. So I called up a friend of mine named John Paris, who's a composer in California, and I said, I'm going to send you this lyric, take a stab at it. And he wrote this beautiful, melody, beautiful accompaniment. And so then we had it, and we had the lyric, and I called Johanna because Johanna and I often work together. She's a songwriter and a wonderful songwriter. She's also an amazing singer. And Johanna and I have collaborated together, we've performed together, and she has sung on some of my other projects. And I brought this to her, and I mean, I think probably at first blush, you were not entirely excited about this, the concept of the lyric. I mean, what did you think? What was, you know, this is, the person who wrote this is kind of, I would say, a religious person. And maybe you are, maybe you're not, I'm not sure.
I am. I grew up Catholic, kind of strayed away from faith, but have been coming more into it recently, and even considered what, you know, writing Christian pop music might look like. So this was, it was an exciting project for me because I've never come in just as the singer. I've always written and sung my own. Well, maybe I have a couple times now, but this one was a project that was sort of a lot of collaboration, and that was appealing to me. Yeah. To get involved in something new.
Well, you really made a great song out of it.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you know, one thing I want to say is that this was not the first time that you sang this song. We did a demo. I remember one time, I think, at Winterland, and it was prior to your experience. Do you want to talk about your own challenge as an artist?
Yeah. Well, I've been with I've got all sorts of challenges.
Oh, we all do.
But I've been, yeah, I mean, this year particularly, I've been having a lot of struggles with mental illness, with bipolar, and I've found that actually has brought me closer to being able to express myself in different ways, like using song.
Good.
I think there is some sort of extra intelligence that people on, like, autism spectrum or with different mental illnesses, I think there are people who are more sensitive to certain things, and sometimes that leads us into pain and struggle, but a lot of times, I mean, if you use it the right way, it can actually end up being an asset.
Yes, and you use it as an asset.
Thank you.
And did you want to say more about the diversity?
Well, sure. I mean, the production of this song was a real collaboration. It was like a bipolar collaboration, because, we had people here in Minnesota. I'm working with Laura, who, is in the autism spectrum, and I'm working with people on the West Coast. Now they're in their own spectrum, right? So, they're in the LA spectrum, et cetera. So, when I got this music from John Paris is an old friend and collaborator who lives in Northern California, and I was just really moved by his music. Laura had come, when Laura came to me, she told me about this one particular Christian pop artist, this woman named Lauren Daigle. And I listened to Lauren Daigle, and I don't know if you're familiar with her music, but to me, it sounded like Adele. It was Adele. I mean, it was kind of like that sort of modern production, very slick, beautiful harmonies, gospel choir, all this kind of stuff, except the lyrics were leaning in a certain direction. They were leaning in a, some people would say spiritual, some people would say religious direction. And I listened to it and I said, that's Adele. I mean, it's like somebody singing like Adele, but singing these lyrics that are leaning in a particular direction. And when Laura and I worked on these lyrics, what I was trying to get at is that someone who has this this kind of burning desire for God, right, or spiritual enlightenment or whatever it is, it's a relationship,
Yeah.
right? It's like when with human beings we have. It's funny. In the English language, we have one word for love. Love. That's it, right? In ancient Greek, they had 10 words, right? You had eros, which is the one we're most familiar with. It's kind of like the romantic love that everybody's interested in. But then there's also, this agape love, which is the love, charitas. It's the love that you share with people. And then there's this, this love of God, this love of something greater than yourself. And so when she was talking about, when she first started with this song and it was called In the Church, it was like, to me, it was a little square. So I said, take it outside, literally. And the song we listened to kind of as a guide was this song called California Dreamin' from the 60s by a group called the Mamas and the Papas. And I pointed out to her, I said, if you look at the structure of that song, it starts out, all the trees were brown and the skies were gray. I went for a walk on a winter's day. I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA. So it gives you this picture and a visceral thing about, when I was listening to that song as a kid and, it was November in New York, yeah, it was gray. I wanted to be in California. And there was this kind of feeling. So I said, well, as you write this song about wanting to connect with God, consider it as if God was a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And it's someone that you were yearning for, that you're trying to reach, but this person is not available to you for some reason. It's like, call them on the phone, hello, no message.
I've had plenty of boyfriends like that.
Right, you call them on the phone, you try to text them, you try to Facebook them, they're not there. And it says, she sets this thing up. She says, "Hello, God, I'd like to meet. Could we go for coffee or something to eat?" What we did in this song was to bring the relationship between a human person and the divinity, the creator, whatever you want to call it, something which is so much larger than human, into a human kind of thing. The Greeks did it all the time because they personified their deities, right? You had Dionysus was the god of wine, and you had Venus or Aphrodite, who was the goddess of beauty and love, etc. And they personified. And so in a way, what we did in this song was all of her kind of spiritual yearning, we put it into the idea that you could see it. It's like this couple sitting on a bench, and then he's gone, and she's saying, "Where did you go? Hey, hello, where are you? I'm here. Let's go for a drive. Let's do something." So that's the kind of the hook in this song. And Johanna sang it so beautifully and with so much heart. And
thank you.
She has a wonderful trained voice. It's trained, but it's also her voice has been honed by experience of life. That's
The challenges.
the challenge of life. I mean, it's like when you listen to Billie Holiday sing. I mean, you don't just hear a voice; you hear all of this experience. Anytime you hear a great singer, it's not just the vocal cords and the physics. It's the heart and soul. So.
Yes. And you made that clear through Songwriters Circle, helping other people
Yep.
with their songs, offering a critique.
That is my personal joy. That's the thing that kind of makes my heart, beat, is to kind of help other people, whether they be younger songwriters or songwriters in their older, 50 and up or whatever, and this is their first time recording something or first time writing it.
Is there a charge for people attending the Songwriters Circle?
The Songwriters Circle, we have a meeting once a month. It's called Circle Up, and it's a donation kind of a thing. And somebody who's working on a song comes into the group, and they present the song to the group, either live or recorded, and then the group gives feedback, and I moderate that. I make sure that the way feedback is given in this group is positive and nurturing, because I've been to different kinds of groups. I used to belong to a professional organization in New York called the Songwriters Guild, and they used to run something like this, and it was great. The facilitator made sure that everything was uplifting, right? Because sometimes you get in a group and you get people that just kind of want to critique and cut, and then often they don't have much to stand on in the way of, why would you be criticizing this when, I've been a musician and a producer for 40 years. So I have a little, experience under my belt, and I also feel that I have the knowledge and experience as a producer. It's like an editor. I can give constructive feedback.
I've heard you do that when I've attended
Yeah.
the Songwriters Circle.
Yeah.
And you do it so well.
Thank you. Sometimes people don't want feedback.
Wow.
Sometimes they don't, and that's okay. I mean, sometimes people come and all they want to do is present their stuff. I remember having a group meeting once, and there was a guy there, and there was like about 8 of us, and there were songs, and then he played his song, and one other experienced Nashville guy said, "Would you like some feedback?" And he looked and he said, "No, thanks."
Well,
That's what an open mic is for.
Yeah, right. Well,
but all too much feedback, I think, is negative.
Yeah.
I don't like that, or, I mean, why? They're not catching the spirit of the person who is offering a song that is meaningful.
I think people need to learn how to give feedback. It's an art.
Yes.
it's an art, and it's not just criticism or wow. There's an art to it.
Now, we've only got about 8.5 minutes left. So, do you want to tell us more about who you guys are? Or do you want to get to something else?
Well, I want to save the last 4 minutes to play the video again.
Okay.
Because we don't have to do it just yet, because we got 8 minutes according to the clock there.
Right.
So I guess I would like to say to your television audience, I would invite the songwriters out there, or closet songwriters, to come forward. Like Johanna was saying, the Twin Cities is great in terms of their open mics. So if you have something, either, there are a lot of people who sing, right? And a lot of people like to go to an open mic and do a cover, play someone else's music, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's really difficult to play your own music, because you're getting up in front of a bunch of people and you're sharing something kind of personal, very personal. It's kind of like you're putting your kid out there, and it's like, are they going to judge? Are they going to judge me? We have so many of these talent shows now on TV where people are kind of in that, there's a certain, if you don't sing a certain way, if you don't sound kind of like what the hip thing is to do right now, sometimes people will dismiss it because, it doesn't sound like Beyonce, or it doesn't sound like,
But
Adele.
you don't have to be like Beyonce.
I know, but there's there's a certain expectation. But I like there's so many great open mics. In fact, go ahead.
This is much more than an open mic.
Well, yeah, this is more than an open mic. In fact, as soon as we finish here, I'm going to a showcase. By the way, every Tuesday night in Minnetonka at a place called Unmapped Brewing Company, we have a songwriter showcase.
What's the address?
I can't tell you the number, but you can find it on the internet. Unmapped, like map, unmapped. Unmapped Brewing Company. It's at the corner of Excelsior Boulevard and Eden Prairie Road.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's the key.
And every
You can
Tuesday.
bring your dog.
Yes, you can bring your dog. It's a very social place. Have a beer or a kombucha, or you can bring your own food or order in pizza. It's very social. And we do this every Tuesday, and I produce it, and I pick the songwriters, and every month we get more and more new people coming in, new songwriters doing their original stuff. Johanna has performed several times. And
Good for you.
Yeah.
And you're teaming up people with many different abilities.
Correct.
And some have some disabilities
Yep.
that they are learning how to overcome.
Right.
So,
Yeah, sure. We can. They're asking if we should roll the video again. I think we should roll it.
Okay,
And if we have
let's-
extra time, we can chat it up.
On that bench in our park, it's a hot summer day. I take a look around and wonder, should I stay? There are so many things I want to say, but you are not here, so I start to pray. Hello, God, I'd like to meet. Could we go out for coffee or something to eat? Just to hear your voice, it's your choice. You're upstairs, and I'm aware. Hello, God, it's me. I'm supposed to have healed, but it hasn't happened yet. I've gone over and over my past regrets. I've called your name 1,000 times, asking you to quiet my mind. Hello, God, can we take a walk? I'd like to pick up where we left off, just to hear your voice. It's your choice. You're upstairs, and I'm aware. Hello, God, it's me. God, do you still need me? When you look at me, what do you see? What I have to offer you, is it enough? Am I worthy of your endless love? God, could we take a drive? Lately you've been on my mind, just to hear your voice. It's your choice. You're upstairs, and I'm aware. Hello, God, it's me. Hello, God, it's me.
Wow. It's even better on the second time around.
There you go.
I think it will be popular.
Well, thanks. We just need to get it into the right hands. That's the next step.
Yeah. And
And this helps, Bill.
yeah,
This will help because I think all your viewers out there, I'm sure there's someone who's connected with someone important in the music industry that is going to recognize
or
this.
maybe broadcasting,
Sure.
radio station,
Television,
TV. Yeah.
cable, the whole deal.
Yeah, you've certainly put together a great visual to go with the song.
Thanks. I have to take my hat off to Jerry Esnow, who is one of our members, who's one of the senior songwriters who did the video.
I've had Jerry Esnow in this studio.
That he told me the very same.
Yes.
So you know of his talent.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He sure
And
is.
Now, with 18 seconds,
Yeah.
I think all I have to do is thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
And thank you,
Thank you.
Johanna.
Nice to see you again.
Oh, yes.